gotta wake up. We're too comfortable. We need a shake up. Let the truth be told. We need to clean our soul. We're here in Babylon. We face annihilation, miseducation to a hidden nation. It's been more than 2,000 years of oppression. Still my people refuse to learn their lesson. It's a battle every day. Many have gone astray. They live in the curses cause they chose not to keep the commandment. It's never too late. You have to you can change your ways. It's never too late. You have a way. You can change your way. My people, we gotta wake up. We're too comfortable. We need a shake up. Let the truth be told. We need to clean our soul. It's obvious what you give is what you get. It's so ominous that you can't even see the sign. We steady arguing over nothing. Instead we show self-hate cause it's what we have been taught. We need to do something different cause it always ain't working out. Yeah, we need to cry out. It's never too late. You have to change your way. It's never too late to change. You have to change your ways. Oh, my people, we gotta wake up. You got to wake up. Too comfortable. You need a shake up. Truth be told, we need to clean our soul. You need to clean your soul. My people, you gotta wake up. Too comfortable. You need a shake up. Truth be told, we need to clean our soul. We need to change our soul.
My people out of YouTube. Shabbat Shalom to them. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 13 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man. Tonight, we'd like to give all praise and honor to Ahaya Bahashem Yeshai and the precious Ruach. And for those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High, in the name of Christ, as well as the Holy Spirit. Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 13 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man who's from the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. We know that you could have been anywhere in the world, so due to the fact that you decided to join us tonight, we do not take your time for granted. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allah Haya Nawa Ahaya Ka. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allah Haya Nawa Ahaya Ka. Shema Yasha Allah Ahaya, Allah Haya Nawa Ahaya Ka. Hero Israel.
Hero Israel.
The Lord our Yah is one.
The Lord our Yah is one.
Amen. Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 13 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man who's from the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel. We'd like to apologize to each and every one of you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We had to fight some spiritual demons out here tonight that was trying to keep us from going forth tonight. But it took us some time, but we're here, and the Most High has a word for the people. And so we thankful to all of you guys that are constantly in prayer for us and bombarding heaven on our behalf. And so tonight, as in all nights, with the children of the Most High, the devil has lost, and we're here to proclaim his word, to cry loud and spare not. And we thank each and every one of you once again, like I said, for joining us tonight. And we know things are kind of crazy in the uproar, but Israel is going forward, and we're going to do what thus says the Most High. Just want to shout out a few people. Better Day. Shout out to Restoration Center. Shout out to 7 Day Harvest and to all the people that are getting linked and united. I also want to take an opportunity to shout out many of the Christian pastors that has been out doing the work in the community, feeding people, providing, different child cares and different resources for the community. I want to make sure that we shout those pastors out that are doing a great work in this time. Amongst all of the ridicule and attack that the church is constantly taking, we also want to make sure that we acknowledge those in the time of when they're doing what thus says the Most High. Let's not be the one that's always talking about when someone's doing something wrong. Let's make sure that we also honor those pastors in these churches that are out here doing the legwork, that are going in these communities, feeding these kids, feeding these parents, these adults, making provision for houses and whatever, all the things that people are doing behind closed doors. It's a lot of things that some pastors are doing, and they're not going live and doing it. You know what I'm saying? Shabbat Shalom, Mama V. Shabbat Shalom, Princess Ty. So want to good seeing you guys on with us tonight. Thank you guys for all you do. So tonight, we have a word tonight for the people, but we also want to give a special announcement that on next Tuesday, Better Day Anson will be launching. Now you say, what? You launching a church in the midst of churches being shut down? Yes. Yes. We currently don't have people here in this county. Most of our people that rock with us is outside of the county. So we are starting here fresh, and we're trying to wake up our local people here in Anson County to let them know that they're not Black, that they're not African American, that they are from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. So we're about to hit these streets as soon as it gets time, and we can do what we got to do. But starting April 7th, next Tuesday, we're going to be live, live coming from our new venue. And for those in the Waysboro area that want to rock with us, that address is 105 South Rutherford Street, and that is in Waysboro, North Carolina. Now, it doesn't look like a church because it's not. It's a building that we're using some space, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to do what we got to do, and then we're going to go forward. Lastly, before we get started tonight, on May the 17th, which is a Sunday, we're going to be restarting the Bible in Black, Black History According to the Bible series. Now, we were, looking to do this with a church, but I thought about it. I, reached out to Sound Council, and as a result of what we came up with, what we decided was we're going to host this at our new venue. And this venue, we can see probably approximately 25 people. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the particulars to those people that we're trying to have live with us, on site with us, for pastors. Now, that's not saying that we won't open up for regular people, but we're trying to focus on the pastors right now because we know if we can get this truth to the pastors, this thing will trickle down. And as a result of all this stuff that's going on, we will this time broadcast live May 17th, May 24th, May 31st, and June 7th. 4 weekends, 4 Sundays consecutively, Black History According to the Bible. So we're going to be on the lookout for that May the 17th. But I want you guys to work hard with me and to bring in your pastors out to this thing, because we want to make the doors open for the pastors, so that we get the pastors in this truth. We know that the pastors will get these things to the members. So we're looking to reach out to 15 to 20 pastors. That, like I said, that's not to say that we won't allow regular people. We want entrepreneurs there. We want leaders, community leaders, whatever the case may be. Any people of influence, we're going to, try to make those spots for those people, that are have influence in other areas in the community. And that's going to be started May 17th. So please, if you guys are interested in that, please inbox me or email me at levandaingham@gmail.com, and we will get that information to you. As always, anything with Better Day Ministry is absolutely free. Now, tonight's lesson is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, Overcoming Spiritual Amnesia. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. Now, the definition, ladies and gentlemen, for amnesia is a partial or total loss of memory. Read that again. It says a partial or total loss of memory. And our people, the so-called black man, the so-called African American man, it has complete memory loss for the majority of our people of who they really are. This has happened as a result of captivity. This has happened as a result of years of abuse, all kind of things that has happened to us, throughout these generations in this country. Our people, as a result, have no idea of who they really are. It's funny because I was promoting the Black History According to the Bible series. Oh, shalom, man, little Sean, good showing you on this night. And the other day, and someone commented up on the post. I'm going to tell you about that, D. They said Black history and the Bible with question mark. They were shocked with that because most people think anything dealing with Black people in the Bible, they don't put those two things hand in hand. And so this is when I was like, yeah, we got to overcome spiritual amnesia. This is what's going on with our people. We're dealing with a case of spiritual amnesia. So tonight we're going to address those things directly. But I want to start out with the fact of the matter is that, ladies and gentlemen, unless you get past the things that have you in the state of amnesia, you understand, you won't be able to be awakened to the truth. And what's really making me sad is, like, for example, today, I got the keys today from the guy who was in me the venue. And I went to this hardware store to get me a key made, right? And I go in there, I go to the place, and there's people standing outside, and I'm thinking the place is closed. And then they was like, nah, they only allow a certain amount of people in the store because, the so-called virus. So I was like, man, you got to be kidding me, man. We down here in Anson County, man. Come on, man. What are we doing, right? So I'm just thinking that in my mind. I don't say nothing, right? And so they letting all these people in, people coming out, right? And so the people that's in front of me, they let them in, and I'm still just standing there. So then the dude comes back to the door after I'm standing there like 10, 15 minutes and say, yo, man, we closed. Like, yo, bro, you see me here for 20 minutes, bro. Like, what are we doing? Like, yo, man, come on, man. I just wanted to get a key made, man. Like, and I said all that to say this. It's amazing how in 2 months, people have completely adapted to everything. Like, people have a new vernacular, words that they never used before, like social distances, so-called corona, so-called COVID, all of these things that people are saying every day now. It's a part of their vernacular now. When you didn't even heard of that word months ago, right? Yet our people grew up in church, raised in church, go to church every Sunday, but don't know the Bible. This is evidence of a sleep state. This is evidence of overall governmental social engineering control. When it immediately, you got all the commercials, you got the commercials, you have the movies, you got the television shows, you have the news, you have everything that have completely adapted around this as if this has been life forever. When this Bible has been here forever, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like people don't even relate to it, even the ones who say they with Christ. Shabbat shalom, Pastor. Good seeing you on with us tonight. It's just amazing to me. And it's pure evidence that our people are under mind control and they don't even realize it. You'll have people say something like, the people need to stay home. They're not protecting us. You're at the house. How is someone else going out putting you in harms? You're at the house. And people don't even realize it. They're like, yo, man, people are speaking against vaccines. They're going to get people sick. You're going to get the vaccine. You should be straight, right? How may not get a vaccine, how does that harm you if you're going to get it? You should be straight, right? And people don't even realize that you are being engineered and trained to look at everybody as an enemy. Because when they really come, ladies and gentlemen, now because you've made people your friends based on a camera and at the crib, they're not going to be there for you. So we can have all the concerts and the live videos, and we can talk to each other and gas each other up via social media. But when it really goes down, and all you got is this, what are you going to do? They're making you look at everyone as an enemy. You got people saying like, man, I don't even talk to people in public no more. I'm this and this and that. This is completely outside of the way we've always been as a people. Only people in a sleep state, in a controlled state, can just easily transform from one way of living to the next. So tonight we're going to be talking about overcoming spiritual amnesia. You need to wake up, people, before it's too late. So let's go to 1 Corinthians 3. I need you to hold that and get Sirach, the first chapter. Now, for those who don't have an apocrypha, please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a separate laptop or phone or tablet, please grab it. Go to Google, because we're going to be in there tonight. Type in Sirach, chapter 1. We're going to get a few verses out of there tonight as we get started, set this foundation. 1 Corinthians 3. I need you to hold that and get Sirach, the first chapter. Tonight's lesson is entitled Overcoming Spiritual Amnesia. 1 Corinthians 3. So let's start there at verse 18.
Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool that he may be wise.
So the Bible says this. Read that first part before we begin.
Let no man deceive himself.
Let no man deceive himself. So how is it the Bible says that we deceive ourselves? What did he say?
If any man among you seemeth to be wise.
So if anyone, Salaki Dick, seem to be wise in this world, he has deceived himself. Yet, the majority of the people who are saying they got all the answers are basing their intelligence and their level of understanding based on the world. But the Bible says, what? Read that again. It says what?
If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world.
In this world.
Let him become a fool.
Let him become a fool.
That he may be wise.
That he may be wise. So the Bible says, in order for you actually to be wise, when you come to the Most High, you must reject and leave back everything you know in order for you truly to become wise. Is that what we're doing today? Shabbat Shalom, Miss Spot. Good seeing you on with us tonight. Is that what we're doing? Or are we doing the exact opposite? You will see people, and that's why I wanted to make sure at the beginning that I saluted these Christian pastors and a lot of these our Christian brothers and sisters. Because they may not know the truth of who we are. They may be currently rejecting certain things that Israelites are teaching. But right now, I'm seeing a lot of Christians standing up for this Bible, and now they're being ostracized. They're being ostracized amongst their own community. Other Christians are calling them crazy. Other Christians are calling them out. Other Christians are attacking pastors and other Christians who want to stand on this Bible and who want to go forth into the things that the Most High told them to do. And that's why I'm just sitting back. And I'm like, okay, I'm watching who's getting attacked, who's standing. And sooner or later, Israelites, we need to come by. Yo, brother, let me talk to you. Your sister, let me talk to you. Because now the Most High is separating who's with him and who's not. In Israel, you got to understand that this is not only taking place amongst Israel. A lot of us, as I keep reminding you, we're in that church when that truth came to you. Right now, a lot of our Christian brothers and sisters are prime because they're standing up, they're going forth, and it's their own brothers and sisters, their own pastor peers who are attacking them for standing on the Bible. And they're going to realize in this season right now, hold up. How am I being attacked by my own peers now? And they're going to start seeking the Most High. And that's when we need to be standing there ready. Watch this. Verse 19.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High.
Read it again.
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High.
Because the Most High says, ladies and gentlemen, the wisdom of this world, the way this world carry out and live is what?
It's foolishness.
It is foolishness. It's a shame when I'm always hearing people use the excuse or the term common sense to disregard what the Bible says. Well, you got to have common sense. Really? So read that again. He says what?
For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High.
Uh-huh.
For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craft.
So ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find in the days to come, in the months to come, and in the years to come, all of these wise people, all of these people who are standing with the policies and standing with the government and standing with the leaders, standing with these Christian and Muslim and political, I would say, religious leaders. You're going to find all of these guys being destroyed in their own craftiness. Their mindset, their perceptions, their willingness to stand for foolishness versus stand with his word is what's going to ultimately destroy all of them. Verse 20, watch this.
And again, the Lord knoweth the thoughts of the wise.
He knows the thought of the wise.
That they are vain.
That they are what?
That they are vain.
That they are vain. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first stages that you're going to have to do to overcome spiritual amnesia is to realize that the wisdom of this world is foolishness. You can't deal with the wisdom of this world and receive the blessings of the Most High. It's oil and water. Don't mix. Watch this. Sirach 1, though. Watch this. Sirach 1, verse 18 through 21. Watch this.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom.
Read that again.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom.
Now, for a second thing, so I can really bring this out. Go back up to verse 14. Watch this.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
It's a what?
It's the beginning of wisdom.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible says that the fear of the Most High is the beginning of wisdom. What does that say about these policy leaders and the governmental leaders and all of the people that are telling you to do everything outside of this Bible? The Most High says that the fear of me is the beginning of wisdom. So that means if you don't fear the Most High, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Most High says you haven't even begun to learn anything. You know of nothing. And this goes to, I want to put this out here because, and I'm not dealing with this on the Sabbath, but basically I'm not dealing with it anymore. You know, there's some things that I was going to bring out, some things that I talked with some of my ops. And I just kind of decided I'm not dealing with this no more. We're just going to give them truth. Because the truth of the matter is that our people they're too naive to see the lies, and many of our people are too prideful to receive the truth. This is the bottom line. So you can bring them all of the evidence that this stuff is, and my sister the night on Shabbat shout out, she was like, this propaganda, this, and then it's, pandemic. Because you don't want to deal with it. Because you know what it is. So to ease the feelings of other people, you have to give these terms and use this vernacular to make people feel unsafe. They don't feel like they're being attacked. But I want to put this out here to the brothers and sisters who are working tirelessly in exposing these things and bringing out all of these different facts and the research that you're doing to expose what's really going on behind the scenes. I applaud you. All praise. But you must understand this. That cannot be the basis of your life. If you don't you can expose the liars all you want to. That's cool. But if you're still not living, thus says the Most High, you're still doomed. So I want to put this out here. Just because you're not on the side of the government does not mean that you're on the side of the Most High. Okay. Just because you're against the liars don't mean you're walking in truth. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. Because a lot of people is making their whole mission is about exposing lies of one group of people, but the rest of your life is full of lies in itself. That's why I wanted to go up to verse 14 to show that. Read it again. Sirach 1:14. Watch this.
To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Right.
And it was created with the faithful in the womb.
It was created what?
And it was created with the faithful in the womb.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those who are called the elect has this faith inside of them from the womb. Now go down to verse 18. Watch this.
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish.
It did what?
Making peace.
It makes peace
and perfect health.
And perfect health
to flourish.
To flourish. Some of you need to go back and check that lesson that we did. The whole world is sick, and truth is the only antidote. The fear of the Most High does what?
The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish.
Right?
Both which are gifts of the Most High.
Both which are gifts of the Most High. Go ahead.
And it enlarges the rejoicing that love him.
And it does what?
Enlarges the rejoicing that love him.
And it enlarges the rejoicing of them that love him. I can tell real easy, man, who's spending time with the Most High in this so-called stay-at-home or so-called quarantine, and I can see who's spending time with ABC, NBC, and CNN. It's very clear. It's real clear. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let me just put this out here, right? Now we're gonna get into that in a minute. I'm gonna put the cart before horse. Verse 20. It's like verse 18. 19.
Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast.
Go ahead.
The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord.
Read it again.
The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord.
So your wisdom, ladies and gentlemen, the root of it, the way it grows, the way it cultivates and develops is what?
To fear the Lord.
It's to fear the Most High. Go ahead.
And the branches thereof are long life.
And the branches that come from it is long life. Verse 21.
The fear of the Lord driveth away sin.
Read it again.
The fear of the Lord driveth away sin. And where it is present, it turneth away wrath.
So not only, ladies and gentlemen, does the fear of the Lord drive away sin, but where the fear of the Lord is, it takes away the wrath that's coming. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, truth is the only antidote. Listen, that's it. Now, let's get into it. Let's go to Isaiah 46. I need you to hold that and get Romans 3rd chapter. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, we're bringing out it tonight through the Spirit of the Most High. What it's going to take for you to wake up. Right? Some of you right now, let's put it like this right here. Some of you are heavy sleepers, right? So you got alarm clocks and you got the snooze things that can make it go off every 10 minutes, every 5 minutes, whatever the case may be, to make sure you don't oversleep. But some of you right now, and from a spiritual standpoint, have unplugged your alarm clock on purpose. Right? You know how when you go on a trip, you go on vacation somewhere, and you go down to the hotel, to the desk and say, I need a wake-up call? Well, some of you are refusing to do the wake-up call. You're telling them not to call. You're unplugging the alarm clock and wondering why you're oversleeping. And the truth of the matter, a lot of our people out here that screaming they're so woke, they're actually just sleepwalkers. Do you understand that sleepwalkers can carry out certain activities that a woke person does, but they're still in the sleep state? Some of y'all are just sleepwalking, and you don't even realize it. And some of us right now have so much trauma in your life that you've forgotten everything that the Most High has done for you. So we're going to have to overcome this spiritual amnesia. But in order to get this, you got to get all these distractions and everything out of your life. You understand? Watch this. Watch this. Isaiah 46. Need you to hold that and get Romans 3rd chapter. These two precepts right here, ladies and gentlemen, these are specifically for my Christian brothers and sisters. I'm going to take time. I'm not going to be like the rest of Israel. My hand is going to be, I got my hands going in two directions. My hand is reaching to Israel, but my hand is always going to reach back to the church. I'm not going to stop. I haven't given up on you. You understand? Because I know where I was found. So these two precepts are for my Christian brothers and sisters. And you're going to have to understand that nothing has changed. The whole world has changed. But the truth still remains. And this is what you need to realize. Isaiah 46, let's start at verse 4. Watch this.
And even to your old age, I am he.
Hold on. Isaiah 46. I've been tripping lately. See, sometimes, man, when I be studying up, I be in my own world. And when I be in my own world, and when I be just writing it down just to have, like sometimes I don't even, it's in my head, but it don't be on, I don't have it on the paper the way it needs to be. That's not it. Hold up. Hold on 1 second. Isaiah 48. That's what I meant. Hold on. Slocky, fam. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I am right. I was right. It was 46, but it was it's only it's not verse 4 is what I wanted. It's verse
Is it 45?
No, it's 46. Appreciate that, Art. I be in my own place sometimes. Okay, now I got here it is. I'm right. Started verse 3. Here we go. I be going somewhere everywhere in my head. All right, let's calm down here. Let's go. Isaiah 46, verse 3. That's what I wanted.
Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob,
and
all the remnant of the house of Israel,
right?
Which are born by me from the belly, which are carried from the womb.
Now, what he's saying here is this. I birthed you, Israel. You came from me. This is what you need to understand. See, a lot of our people, because of the life that they lived prior to ever going to church, they think that the birth of them with the Most High started in a church. Like the first time you went down the aisle, this is when you was introduced to the Most High. No. Israel, ladies and gentlemen, our people came from the Most High. We left Egypt walking with the Most High, been going with the Most High, going forth. So a lot of times what happens is we are so based on this westernized mindset, looking at the so-called black man as a person of needing redemption. Now understanding all we needed to do was remember. You understand? Read that again for him, Deep. Watch this. Watch this, what he says.
Hearken unto me, O house of Jacob,
and
all the remnant of the house of Israel,
right?
which are born by me,
which are born by me
from the belly,
mm-hmm.
which are carried from the womb,
Mm-hmm.
and even to your old age,
even to your old age,
I am he.
A higher he. Go ahead. Watch this.
And even to your hairs will I carry you.
Mm-hmm. I have made.
I will bear.
I will bear.
Even I will carry.
Even I will carry.
And will deliver.
And
you.
will deliver you, Israel. You got to remember this. Now, I put out there several months ago about in Luke the 15th chapter, verse 11 through 34, about the so-called prodigal son. We know that this is what has been preached in the church, but I throw you to the Spirit of the Most High. That's not what that story is about. That parable is about the young son is Ephraim and the elder son is Judah. It's about the two tribes. It's about the two nations. And how Judah stayed with the Most High, but never really operated in the manner they should be, and was being envious and upset because the younger son Ephraim came back. That's what that's about. That's really what that parable is about. But just looking from the perspective of the prodigal son, what they said. What happened to Ephraim? What happened to the prodigal son? He was in the midst of all of this. He threw away everything he had, right? He started pairing with the Gentiles, got hired, started listening and dealing with the Gentiles, and then was in a hog trip. And he was about to eat of it. He was about to partake of it. But then what happened before he did it? The Bible says that he remembered himself. This is what's going on right now, more than ever before. Israel is remembering themselves, and they're understanding who they really are. It's not based on no thug mentality. It's not based on no drugs. Not based on no prostitution, no fornication, or none of the things that we was involved with. Before all of those things were, we was Israel. We were chosen. And I'm going to show you this right here. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 5.
To whom will you liken me?
Whom will you liken me?
And make me equal. And compare me that we may be like.
Who are you trying to make even Stevens with me? Is what the Most High said. You said I'm the God of America. You said I'm the God of Abraham, God of Islam. You said I'm even Steve with the God of Jehovah's Witnesses and the God of Christianity and the God of Seventh-day Adventists and all of this other stuff. You think I'm that? That ain't me. Why are you comparing me? Who you making like me? Watch this. Verse 6.
They lavish gold out of the bag and weigh silver in the balance.
Right.
And hire a goldsmith, and he maketh a god.
And maketh a god. Go ahead.
They fall down.
They fall down.
Yea, they worship.
That's what they got to do. That's what the Gentiles got to do for their gods. They got to make them. Look at what he's saying here. Watch this. Verse 7.
They bear him upon the shoulder.
They carry him. Go ahead.
They carry him and set him in his place. And he standeth from his place, shall he not remove. Yea, one shall cry unto him, yet can he not answer.
He cannot answer.
Nor save him out of his trouble.
Nor save him out of trouble. But notice, the Most High said, listen, I'll birth you, I'll carry you, I'll deliver you. But the guys of the Gentiles, they got to carry. They got to create. They got to set him into place. And he will never deliver you. Has he? We serve all the gods of the Gentiles. Has it changed us in America? Has it changed the overall status, the overall livelihood of the so-called black man, of the so-called African-American man? Has it? Don't give me a few hope stories. Totality. What has it done? What has it done for West and South Africa? What has it done for our communities? What has it done for the so-called Hispanics and Latinos? What did it do for the so-called Indians and Native Americans? The gods of Christianity. What did it do for them? What did it do? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 8.
Remember this.
Remember this.
And show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O you transgressors.
Bring it again to your mind, O you transgressors. Watch this.
Remember the former things of old.
Mm-hmm.
For I am the Most High.
Ahia is the Most High. Go ahead. Watch this.
And there is none else.
And there is none else.
I am the Most High.
Ahia, the Most High. Watch this.
And there is none like
And
me.
there is none like me. You ain't going to find nobody else like Ahia. Watch this. Verse 10.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
I declared the end from the beginning. Watch this.
And from ancient times, the things that are not yet done.
And from the ancient times, I declared what was not yet done. Go ahead.
Saying, my counsel shall stand.
My counsel shall stand.
And I will do all my pleasure.
And I will do all my pleasure. Do y'all know that the gospel was preached in Genesis 4? When he told the serpent, the woman's seed shall bruise the seed head of your seed. I declared it from the beginning, thousands of years before the Messiah was born. My counsel shall stand, though. You understand? Watch this. Watch this. Let's go to Romans 3. So listen. He declared it from the beginning. He's already said it. Watch this. And this is what I need y'all to see. Go to Romans 3. Watch this. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. Romans 3. Paul gonna go right back to that thing. Watch this. Romans 3. Verse 1. Watch this.
What advantage then have the Jew?
What advantage then have the Jew? Right? Go ahead.
But what profit is there of circumcision?
And what profit is there of being of the circumcision? The Jew, of course, is Judeans. What the circumcision represents the whole nation of Israel, because the nation of Israel, according to the law, had to circumcise their member on the 8th day, their male member on the 8th day. So the Christian church teaches they use Galatians 3 out of context. Now, we broke down Galatians 3 several times. Not going to do that tonight. Right? But what you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is Galatians 3 was not talking to Gentiles at all. At all. And what you need to also understand is Greek and Grecians are two different people. And that's what they don't tell you in the church. Greek or Greek-speaking Israelites that was taken away into captivity. You go into Joel, the third chapter, he says they were sold on to the Grecians, not to the Greeks. See, because you don't have this apocrypha, you don't know about the third beast that was Greece, that took down our people around 300, 250 BC. You don't know that Alexander the Great and all that what happened. They don't talk about that in the movies. Right? So what you don't understand, a lot of our people end up over in the land of Greece. You don't know that a lot of the Pharisees and Sadducees were Idumeans. You don't know that Herod was an Idumean. You don't know these guys because they don't teach this in there. That's not your fault. But you can't come with this and disregard what the Bible says. Anytime, ladies and gentlemen, you have an understanding of a verse that contradicts the understanding of another, that means one place you're wrong. And they waxed our people to sleep with this whole thing of everybody the same in Christ. If that was the case, why would Paul ask this question? Read it again. Romans 3:1. What did he say?
What advantage then have the Jew?
What advantage is there being a Jew? Go ahead.
Or what profit is there of circumcision?
What profit is there being an Israelite? What would he say?
Much every way.
He said what?
Much every way.
No, he said there ain't no profit.
Much every way.
Much every way. That's Paul saying that, ladies and gentlemen. But what is the main reason?
Chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of the Most High.
Now, go to Psalms 147. Look at verses 19 to 20. This is your precept for what Paul said here. He said much every way. But the main thing is because of this. Psalms 147, verse 19 to 20.
He showeth his word unto Jacob.
He gave his word unto Jacob.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
His statutes and judgments unto who?
Israel.
To the whole world.
Israel.
To the Italians.
Israel.
To the Romans.
Israel.
To the American government.
Israel.
To John Cleveland. John Wesley.
Israel.
Martin Luther.
Israel.
To the Catholic Church.
Israel.
To Israel. Go ahead.
He is not dealt so with any nation.
He said what?
He is not dealt so with any nation.
He knew all the nations.
He is not dealt so with any nation.
He received all the nations.
He is not dealt so with any nation.
He has not dealt so with any other nation but the nation of Israel. And what else?
And as for his judgments,
and as for their judgments,
they have not known them.
They have not known them.
Praise ye the Lord.
Praise ye the Most High. So, back to Romans 3. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. So that's one of the main things, my brothers and sisters, you need to realize. That we were bamboozled. This is why many of our people are satisfied and happy and would choose to be known as a Gentile. Because they told you the same in Christ. Now, the one factor that is actually true is that everybody has an opportunity, whether you be Israelite or Gentile, to receive Christ. But there's a clear distinction between the two. So, what does verse 3 says back in Romans 3rd chapter?
But what if some did not believe?
But what if some people don't believe that it is the advantage of being an Israelite? What if some people believe that everybody's the same and it doesn't matter, neither Jew nor Greek, neither bond nor free? What if they have received that interpretation? Go ahead.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect?
So just because a world and a nation and a religion teaches other than what the Bible says, does that actually change the promises of the Most High? What was his answer?
God forbid.
What was his answer?
God forbid.
What was his answer?
God forbid.
God forbid.
Yea, let the Most High be true.
Let the Most High Yah be true.
But every man.
And every man that teaches anything opposite of it is a liar. So you must realize, my Christian brothers and sisters, we were lied to. And that is the first stage of unbecoming spiritual amnesia. Now, let's go to Amos' 3rd chapter. I need you to hold that and get, matter of fact, don't worry about that because we got a precept out of that. Let's go to Amos 3. Now, we're going here tonight, and this may seem as if I'm being malicious in this, but I'm not. I sat back and watched in January when most people believe that that's the new year. I sat back and I watched all of these guys, all these pastors that do the same rhetoric every year, no matter. Sit back in the latter parts of December and come up with these, based on the year, with these new themes for what it's going to be. And I watched all these pastors and these so-called prophets declare this year will be this, and it's going to be, the year of 2020 focus, and you're going to be able to focus and see your blessing coming now. You ain't going to have to walk by faith. You're going to see it, all these things, all of this rhetoric that they were talking. Now, on the other hand, Israel, the Israelites on the corners, on the Sabbaths, through social media, have been saying for years, lockdown is coming, the plagues are coming, be ready, get your home stocked up, put some food in your house, get ready. They about to lie, they about to come with it, they about to come with the propaganda, get ready for the mark of the beast. We've been telling people for years. Meanwhile, everybody else is running around the church, running around in the hood, doing all these other things. Yet, when none of this has transpired, but all the things that Israel has been saying is transpiring, still, the majority of our people are still looking to the same people that's been gassing them for the answers. And I go down my news feed and I talk to other family members and they're what their pastors and, They'll bring to me what the pastors are saying and what everybody else is saying. And I'm listening to the same rhetoric. The same, you're going to overcome it, and this is going to be your best time. Then they bring in 2 Chronicles 7:14 out, and it's the same rhetoric. No answers, just hope and hype. Every pastor done turned it to a concert artist now, singing and bringing people on, and you got thousands of views and people on there just blessing the Lord, and we're going to sing to the Lord. He got the whole earth in his hand and all this. I'm just sitting back. Rocking you back to sleep. Christians fighting over, should you go to church? Some attacking the pastors who's going to church. Some are saying they ain't doing this and doing that. Israel just sitting back. Trying to point out what's really going on and why you're fighting each other. The same enemy. Sniping our people out. So hopefully right here in these next 2 precepts, we're going to show you it's time to wake up and it's time to look around what's really going on. Watch this. Amos 3. Let's start at verse 4. Watch this.
Will a lion roar in the forest when he has no prey?
So is a lion going to roar and there be no prey for him to eat? He's not going to waste the roar. If a lion is roaring, he's roaring for a reason. Go ahead.
Will a young lion cry of his den if he has taken nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth where no gain is for him?
So if a bird is flying in the air, how are you going to put a trap on the earth and catch that bird? Ain't going to happen, right? What else? What'd he say?
Shall one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all?
So what if you actually set the traps? You know, you got the beaver traps and the little traps people set for the rabbits and all this stuff they be hunting. You got all these traps, but you set them, but you don't catch nothing. That's not going to happen. Either you got the traps in the wrong place, or you got improper traps. That's what the Most High said. Watch this.
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city?
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city?
And the people not be afraid?
And the people not be afraid. Now, as I said in this outset, Israel has been blowing the trumpet for years. Majority of our people, because they didn't want to hear it, they felt attacked. Now, we know some Israelites have presented this in a very disrespectful and offensive way. And I'm not making any excuses for that, right? But I can remember at times in my life that some things that my father said to me was very harsh and very, overbearing and, whatever the case may be. But it didn't make it any more less than the truth because of the manner that it was delivered in. And I sure wasn't going to be able to come to him and say, well, Dad, I would have listened to what you did, but you said it kind of harsh. You didn't really approach me, in loving kindness. You didn't have a gentleness about you. So because of the way you chose to bring it to me, I chose to disrespect and dishonor and disobey you. I would be dead today. So a lot of our people, like I said, I'm not excusing what some of these guys are doing. And we've came on and publicly apologized from the days of our early days, how we may have delivered things. So we're not making any excuses. But what does that have to do with not doing what the Bible says? Is what I'm asking. Because you don't like the package in which it's come. And that's the problem. And I'm saying this, and it's the truth. Some of you are waiting on some of these white pastors to tell you Israel before you accept it. Some of you just you won't listen to nothing coming from your own people. You get a couple of white pastors on board and start bringing out saying you the children of Israel, and then all of you will start changing immediately. And that's a shame, but it's a fact. And I know it is. Because I see a lot of people disrespecting the church and talking junk about pastors on church, on social media. But every time certain so-called white pastors go live, I see those same guys that don't got nothing good to say about black pastors. I see you same guys on those lives. And some of those guys tell you the children of Israel. The next day, I see you with a Mitch and fringes on. And that's a shame. That's that spiritual amnesia. That it has to come from the nations in order for you to put any merit to it, in order for it to be valid. And that's a shame. Read that verse again. He says what? Shall a trumpet blow?
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid?
Shall a trumpet be blown and the people not be afraid? Go ahead.
Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord hath not done it?
Read it again.
Shall there be evil in a city and the Lord hath not done it?
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you right now really are believing that what's going on in this country and around the world, the real reason why many of you are stuck like you are and are not making any internal changes is because you have convinced yourself that this is the devil. Read that again, Deke. It says what?
Shall there be evil in a city?
Shall there be evil in a city?
And the Lord hath not done it.
And the Most High has not done it? Because through the religion of Christianity, people have been taught when something bad happens or when people die, it's the devil. This is Bible prophecy, ladies and gentlemen. The devil ain't running nothing. He's just as much of a pawn as these governmental officials are. They think they're in charge. They're sitting in their meetings, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. We'll go to Wisdom of Solomon too. These guys really think they're running some things, but they ain't running nothing. The Most High has orchestrated all of this. And what you're seeing unfolding before your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, is down with the nations and a rise of Israel. That's what is taking place before your eyes. But because you're looking through the wrong lens and you have not yet remembered who you are, you see this as an attack by the enemy. So I'm saying pastors going there rebuking the devil and we're going to overcome and we're going to come out. And I'm like, yo, you talking to the wrong guy. That guy just as much as lost as you. You're talking to the devil. He knows it's a wrap for him. That's why he's killing as many people as he can. He's finished. And a lot of you are on a sinking ship. Better wake up. And you better remember who you are. But this is the verse I need you to see. Go to that next verse, Deke.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Read it again.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets.
Why is it, ladies and gentlemen, that Israel has been declaring what you're seeing now for years, and we were laughed at and ridiculed, but the people that you deem as men and women of God have told you nothing about this? This is the question that you all need to ask yourselves tonight. Why is none of these guys that you guys deem so great spiritual leaders, why didn't they tell you this was coming? Why wasn't you warned? And why now, when it's all transpiring, the only thing you can say is it's going to all change. We're going to be okay. That they're coming to you telling you the same thing that you see on the news. Stay safe. Do your social distances. Wash your hands. Do hand sanitizers. Wear a mask. I don't see none of that in here. I was sitting in line today, down at the store, and everybody in the line had a mask on. I was just sitting there looking. I was looking at around. And on a funny chunk, right? The cashier was like, and the people in line was and all shook, and she was sniffling and all that. And I was just laughing amongst myself. I was just looking like, and these people are like, they're looking at each other. I'm just looking like this. But it's funny. And I told my aunt when I said, yo, right then, I said, yo, now I saw visually what it means to be terrified and not know what's going on. Because I imagine what I would have been feeling at that moment if I didn't know what the scripture said. I'm talking about this woman the whole time. I'm just sitting there like, it's bad. Like, you just want to have, like, you just some help? Like, for real. You sniffing and got the napkins and everything, but she's still ringing up the orders. I was sitting there like, wow. But what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, why ain't none of this coming out? Read that for him again, Dick. He says what?
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city?
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city?
And the people be not afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord hath not done it?
Mm-hmm.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
So why ain't this coming out? And the people that this is coming out, you won't listen to them. Watch this. Verse 9. Verse 8.
The lion has roared, who will not fear?
The lion has roared, ladies and gentlemen. Who is not fear? Go ahead.
The Lord God has spoken, who can but prophesy?
Who can but prophesy? The Most High is telling them what's going on, but yet no prophecy is coming out amongst the majority of the Christian leaders. They had Kenneth Copeland there. I saw a video the other day that said Kenneth Copeland was standing there rebuking the virus and said, the virus is over. Thus said the Lord. You must say read second address. It ain't over. It's just beginning. The real one. Meanwhile, earthquakes going off in Utah. When you ever heard of earthquakes in Utah? But they won't report that because you'll start adding. Matthew 24 says earthquakes and famines and pestilence. Locusts is ravishing East Africa right now, ravishing. He said, I withhold the waters. Australia was on fire for like 6 months. You're not putting two and two together yet. And the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why it ain't coming is because the majority of the pastors believe in the rapture. And according to the rapture doctrine, you're supposed to be already gone. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. You got to understand. We were bamboozled. Now, let's go to Sirach 12. Matter of fact, no. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 1. 2 Corinthians 11. Let's go to 2 Corinthians 11. And then I'm going to get wisdom of Solomon too. So, let's get into the meat of this thing now. Right? Let's go to 2 Corinthians 11. And wisdom of Solomon too. Watch this. But before we do that, Deke, I think I need to show them when we went to sleep. Give me Jeremiah 17 and give me Hosea 1 and 9. Let's show them that. Well, let's show them that first. Why people are asleep? Let's put them onto that first. So let me get Jeremiah 17:4 and Hosea the first chapter. You know how he worked deep. So we have our plan. He has his. I know it's all out of order, but hey, I'm not in charge. So let's get Jeremiah 17:4 and get Hosea 1. Let me show you. So this will make sense what I'm talking about here. Well, no assumptions here tonight. We're going to have to show you these things through the scriptures of what we're talking about here. All right. Watch this. Jeremiah 17:4. Bring it out.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thy heritage that I gave thee.
That who?
That I gave thee.
Right.
And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in a land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever.
Now listen. Right here is the Most High telling the tribe of Judah, the tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Levi, the people that was of West and South Africa, the people that got brought here and to Central America, to South America and the islands, in slave ships. He told us, you will discontinue from your heritage that I gave you. And you have to serve your enemy in a land that you know is not. This is not what happened to our people. So that was Judah losing everything and not knowing who they are. When we get to Romans 11, it's going to make even more sense in a minute. But I needed to show you this first of how this happened and why it happened. So he told Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you will discontinue from your heritage. It's going to be over. This is why you're calling yourself Black and African American. This is why you're calling yourself a Jamaican and a Haitian. This is why you're calling yourself an African. You're going to discontinue from your heritage. Right? Watch this. Now give me Hosea 1 and start there verse 9. Watch this.
Then said the Most High, call his name, lower me, for ye are not my people,
Mm-hmm.
and I will not be your God.
So right here, the 10 tribes. These are the predominantly the ones that they call Latinos, Hispanic, and Native Americans. He told them, you are no longer my people, and I will not be your Yah. You're finished. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, when you go into what they call in the New Testament, when you see Gentiles in many places, this is talking to the 10 tribes. Not all places, but a lot of the places, this is talking to the 10 tribes. They became Gentiles. You understand? But this is the very important thing. Verse 10, and this prophecy goes for them as well as Judah, Benjamin, and Levi that was brought out in Jeremiah 17:4. Watch this. Look at verse 10.
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
So what's going to eventually happen, though? Even though both nations lost their identity and their heritage, what did he say was going to happen?
Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea,
Mm-hmm.
which cannot be measured nor numbered.
As I like to bring out many times. If you don't believe me, you can research this. Those in the world that are practicing the religion of Judaism make up 0.1% of the population of the earth. 0.1. That sounds like a measurement to me. And for those who are practicing Judaism, that's just not so-called Jewish people. But the Bible says that the children of Israel, the real children of Israel, will be outnumbered the salmon in the sea and will not be able to be numbered. That's how it's going to be so many of them. If you take the so-called Black man, the so-called African American man, the so-called Hispanic, so-called Latinos, the so-called Native Americans, you take the people from the islands, you take the people from Central America, and the people of West and South Africa, and all the people around the world that scattered across the four corners of the earth, that's the sand of the sea, the number that cannot be added, cannot be numbered. Watch this. This is what I need you to see. Verse 11. Starts in verse 10. Go ahead and finish the rest of that.
And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people.
So it's going to happen in a place where it was said. What did they say about them?
Ye are not my people.
You are not my people. What's going to happen?
There it shall be said unto them.
There it will be said unto them. What?
Ye are the sons of the living
Ye
God.
are the sons and the daughters of the Most High, higher. Go ahead.
Then shall the children of Judah and
Uh-huh.
the children of Israel be gathered together,
Be gathered together.
appoint themselves one head,
That's your shire.
and they shall come out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel.
Y'all see that? Overcoming spiritual amnesia. Now I'm about to show you how this is going to happen. Watch this. Now, let's go to 2 Corinthians 11. So I needed to show you that we went to sleep. When it happened. When we get to Romans 11, it's going to show you even, we're going to go more and more in depth of the process of what was done. This is the first stage of what we're going to show you. And then we're going to go to Romans 11. I'm going to slack you. And we're going to go to Romans 11, and it's going to get even more and more clear of what was done and how we have to get out of this. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. 2 Corinthians 11, and get Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter. Watch this. 2 Corinthians 11, D, and let's read verse 12 through 15.
But what do I do? That I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion, that wherein they glory, they may be found even as we.
So what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen, what the true Israelites, those who follow Hamashiach, those who practice Isaiah 49:6, to restore the preserved of Israel, to raise the tribes of Jacob, to restore the preserved of Israel, and to be a light unto the Gentiles. Those who are following the true gospel of Hamashiach, we're doing what we're doing to prevent the occasion for others to take advantage of our people as well as the Gentiles. Who are the people that we're fighting against? Verse 13.
For such are false apostles.
For such are false apostles,
deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach.
They transform themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. Who are these people? These are your founders of Catholicism and your founders of the Protestant Reformation. We showed you over Psalms 147 and 19 to 20 that the Most High only gave his word unto Israel. If you go to Romans the 9th chapter, you'll see that Paul said the same as that thing. No one is supposed to be teaching, preaching, deacon, leaders, but the children of Israel. That is not what we see today. Okay? Now, like I said, this takes a lot to break down, so I'm just going to give it to you real quick. When you go to Romans to Revelation 12, that fourth beast that sits on 7 horns, 7 hills, and 10 horns is Rome. The religion of Christianity came from Rome, and they are backed by the dragon, that old devil, that old servant, the devil. This is the Bible. This is not opinion. This is not hatred or attack. This is the Bible. You understand? And we brought out Tuesday night in Revelation 13:10 that for those who practice the religion and worship the image of the beast, names will not be in the book of life. It's straight like that. So what the false prophets did, the apostles did, was they transformed themselves into the image of Hamashiach, to the apostles of Hamashiach, and went out and spread the gospel, spread the religion of Christianity, and made people believe that they were the people. We're going to get to that in a minute. The fullness of how they did that. Watch this, verse 14.
And no marvel.
And no marvel.
For Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
And now, as a result of that, Satan has transformed into himself into an angel of light. Because now all of the religions that come from Satan, the world looks as the religious leaders. And they all serve him. And he rocked our people to sleep. Watch this. Watch this. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon too. Watch this. So you're going to have to realize that's the first stage. Religious leaders that serve any religion, you cannot listen to. Now, is that to say that every pastor that's in a Christian church is wicked? No. It's not what we're saying. The religion of Christianity is what's the problem. We did a lesson we did on a Soulful Sunday one time. Said, you are not the problem. The religion of Christianity is. So a lot of times people think that when we're talking about Christianity or talking about the Christian church, they take it as an attack on themselves. Like we always say, how can we attack where we came from? You understand? You got to stop taking these things personal. And what we're about to show you here in Wisdom of Solomon, the same people you're defending are having meetings to destroy you. Watch this. Wisdom of Solomon 2. Start at verse 1. Watch this.
For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves.
Reason with themselves.
But not aright.
But not aright. Go ahead.
Our life is short and tedious.
Mm-hmm.
And in death of a man, there is no remedy.
In the death of a man, there is no remedy. Go ahead.
Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
Now, just look at that statement right there. We can find flaws all in that. Number one, we know there's a remedy from death. It's called salvation. Okay. And we also know a man who returned from death. His name is Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world knows to be Jesus the Christ. But because the ungodly don't believe in that, if you read verses, you read on down, they have lived, they have dedicated their whole lives to serve their flesh. And these are your leaders of the earth. These are the leaders of the religions of the earth. For a second time, go down to verse 7. Watch this. It's like you go down to verse 10.
Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow.
We're not going to spare the widow.
Nor reserve the reverence the ancient gray
We're not going to reach the ancient gray hairs.
Let our strength be the law of justice.
Let our strength be the law of justice. Now, we could go into that like forever, just that verse alone. But I'm just going to ask you just to pay attention for the last few months. That's been going on. You have politicians and so-called healthcare and scientists say, hey, man, we might just have to let the old people die. Have they not? We just, hey, I mean, sometimes you got to lose some in order for people to, they're saying these things. And you'll just leave them over there, and you can't go to the nursing home, you can't go and see them. We're knowing that the majority of the people that are there don't want to be there in the first place. So what do you think this isolation from their family is really doing to them? Right? They're taking their Social Security. They're leaving them. A lot of our elders are having to make a decision whether they're going to feed themselves or whether they're going to get medicine. They spend 20, 30 years getting them hooked on all this medicine, raise the price of it up, and have our elderly people have to make a choice whether or not they're going to eat today or take a medicine. This is going down. This is going down. Is it not? What else did they say? What else did they say? Verse 11?
Let our strength be the law of justice.
And then they started passing the laws to restrict and to do what they want to do versus what the Bible says. And anybody that goes against it, they can use their laws to take you down. You know this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. But as we always say, a lot of our people are too naive to see the lies and too prideful to receive the truth. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, and this is not a bad problem, this is just a reality. Some of you are just too good to see, to understand the evilness that's going on in this world. It's not your fault. I wouldn't wish it upon you at all. Some of us just have to be charged with taking on these things. I would prefer not to have to sit down with my parents and tell them what's really going on. Ladies and gentlemen, let me put this out here. Do you realize, most of you may not know this, but the so-called coronavirus is the virus that's in the common cold. It is also the virus that is in the flu. Okay? Yet, it's also something that you need to know that this so-called thing that is doing this so-called stuff that's spreading now is a padding virus, which means it was created. So why ain't nobody asking the question of if everybody got it, how did it get out? That's just like me having a dog, right? I have a dog at my crib. And then you cut on the news and you see that dog biting everybody in the neighborhood. And instead of going to me, the person who owned the dog, and say, yo, bro, why you not the dog? You pass the order and say, yo, everybody stay in your house because you can get bit by the dog. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody never talks about me, the one who owns the dog. My name never comes up. When everybody knows that, yo, that's Lavanna's dog, man. But it's terrorizing the neighborhood. And instead of coming to see me, they pass an order. Yo, we're going to have put everybody on quarantine. Everybody stay at home. No going out. You can't go to work or nothing because people out here getting bit by the dog. Sounds laughable, but that's what's happening. Right? Also, you understand, ladies and gentlemen, that this is what they call allergy seasons with pollen and all these things when spring comes. The same so-called symptoms of what they call the virus. It's the same thing with people with allergies. So, what were they doing almost 18 months ago up until now? What were they doing? Telling everybody to go do what? Get a flu shot. You thought that was a coincidence? You didn't think that was connected? Have you heard any mention of the flu this year? So all of the people went to CVS's, Walgreens, their doctors, poked the flu, aka coronavirus, in your arm. Then you go take a test, and they say, "Hey, you got the coronavirus." You gotta understand, these guys are wicked, man. These are evil. These are some horrible individuals. Then what they're also not telling you is why everyone's in the houses in the major cities, they're putting up 5G towers. And with the frequencies of the 5G towers, these towers give off that radiation, and it gives you the same symptoms of what they said the coronavirus is. So it's like everywhere you go is everywhere. Right? These guys are wicked, man. And they don't care. Ladies and gentlemen, they got on the stones down there in Georgia that the ultimate goal is to get the world's population down to 500 million. That's on an exhibit in Georgia, in the same state where they got about 15, 20,000 what they call them things you get buried in? Coffins laying out in fields ready. I know it's hard to believe that these people are the devil, but they are. They hate your guts. You gotta realize this, ladies and gentlemen. They had a guy on the news tonight that supposedly went live 4 days ago. He was a bus driver. Went live and said that people were getting on the bus and didn't have a mask and was coughing. And I can't believe that people were doing this in disrespect. And then the news reporter said 4 days later, he had sensible died. And people believe it, man. They believe it. They believe these people, man. I'm telling y'all, man. These guys are the devil. And then now they use the laws to put them in order, to control us. And the only way you're going to overcome spiritual amnesia, ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand, I can't trust the devil to tell me nothing but lies. And I know I said I wasn't going to be going to this no more, but y'all got to understand, man. Lots of people that supposed to be watching this and sending messages with us. Right? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Where we at, dude? Watch this. Read it again.
Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
They consider you as nothing. That's what they consider. Watch this. Verse 12.
Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn.
Because they understand, ladies and gentlemen, that the true remnant of the Most High, the true walkers, those who really love, who the world know to be Jesus Christ, if they knew the truth, they would never stand with him. If the covers were pulled back and you saw what they was really doing in these secret places and what sacrifices and stuff they were doing, you never would rock with them. They had a guy that came out the other day and said that the New World Order powers have realized that it's a whole lot easier to kill a man than to control them. So instead of trying to control anymore, it's over. But what you don't understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we've been trying to get you guys to understand, the second Exodus has told, second Exodus 15 has told, Most High told his people, those who are not keeping my commandments, I will not protect you. So all of the people that are walking around here that would not keeping law, statute, commandments, not following Hamas, not submitted to these law, statute, commandments, you are lunch meat with a ruined lion on the loose. I'm telling you, man. You got to wake up, Israel. Watch this. Watch this, dude. Go read the rest of that. Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 12. Watch this.
Because he is not for our turn. He is a clean contrary to our doings.
So regardless of all they taught us and all of the lies, our people, still majority of people, is still with the Most High. Whether they in Israel, whether they don't receive it in Israel or they're in the Christian church, still the majority of them still like, listen, man, I ain't doing that. You can pass all these laws and you can put it all on TV. I ain't doing it. I ain't living that way. The spies are doing, they still clean. Go ahead.
He upbraideth us with our offending the law.
And he tells us. He said, listen, I don't listen to somebody who don't keep the Most High's law. You know how? Give me 1 John 2 and 4. This is how we know. If you ain't following the law, statute, commandments, you can't tell me nothing. I don't care who you are, what position you're in. How many people you got following you? The Bible says, 1 John 2 and 4 says what?
Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth.
1 John 2 and 4, Slaki. 1 John 2 and 4.
He that saith, I know him.
So anybody, whether you be a pastor, you be just a regular Joe, whether you be a politician or leader, whatever you are, and you say you know who the world ought to be Jesus Christ,
and keep him not his commandments,
and you ain't keeping the law, statute, commandments,
is a liar.
Is a what?
Is a liar.
Is a what?
Is a liar.
Is a liar. That's the Bible saying that. So the ungodly understands that those who walking in the spirit, read it again what they said, right? Wisdom of Solomon 2. He says what?
He is a clean contrary to our doing.
He's still clean contrary to our doing. Watch this.
He upbraideth us with our offending the law.
And he upbraided us. He said, man, I'm not listening to this guy. You don't keep the law of the Most High. Go ahead.
And objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education.
I ain't want your education, man. You think I'm going to go to a school and pay for you to tell me that God don't exist? You would think I'm going to go to a school to tell me that I can be born gay? You think I'm going to go and listen to a guy that tells me that the earth was created by a big bang? Y'all don't think the Most High dealt with all this, right? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 13.
He professeth to have knowledge of the Most High.
That's how they're describing us. Those guys, they say they know the Most High. They say they're the chosen people. Go ahead.
and he calleth himself the child of the Lord.
Who else is doing that? Watch this, what they say.
He was made to reprove our thoughts.
Read it again.
He was made to reprove our thoughts.
They're telling you right now that the true Israelites were made to correct the thoughts of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
He is grievous unto us even to behold.
Mm-hmm.
For his life is not like other men.
Read it again.
For his life.
Now read that first from the beginning. He says what?
He is grievous unto us even to behold.
Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think they can kill us the way they do? Why we've been taught all this time that this is about skin color. No. It's your blood that they hate. It's your God, it's your Yah that they hate. It's our Savior that they hate. Black man, every time they see you with that beard, every time they see your hair that's woven like wool, they see who the world know to be Jesus. They see it. That's how they can gun us down in the street with no problem. That's why they can poison our water, poison our food, put abortion clinics and guns and alcohol stores in the hood and sit back and convince us to kill each other with these so-called reality shows and this rap music because they hate our guts. You got to realize this. This is real. This is war. What else? Come on, man.
He is grievous unto us even to behold.
Mm-hmm.
For his life is not like other men's.
Mm-hmm.
His ways are of another fashion.
You see that? They said, listen, man, he ain't like us, bro. He don't act like us, bro. He don't see things the way we see it. He's different. Israel makes the whole world exposed. Israel is a walking mirror that exposes the way of the world, exposes the leaders. And they hate it. They hate it. Watch this. Verse 16.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
We what?
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
Right.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
We call about. Give me that Deuteronomy. Give me Proverbs 28:4. Before you read that Proverbs 28:4, read that again. Watch this.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
So the true people of the Most High, we call these guys as counterfeits. And what else?
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
We said, listen, we're not living the way you want us to live. We're not following your religions. We're not doing anything because that junk is wicked and unclean. And this is why. Proverbs 28:4. Watch this.
They that forsake the law praise the wicked.
So let us notice that those who forsake the Most High's law are the ones who are praising the wicked. These are the ones who see celebrities and all these people as leaders and somebody that's going to lead them to the promised land. And somebody can sing a good song and it can make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. But you don't even care about the lifestyle that they're living. Those that forsake the Most High law, they forsake the wicked. But what?
But such as keep the law.
But those who are keeping the Most High's law
contend with them.
Y'all see that? Watch this. Back to Wisdom of Solomon. Read that again for the top.
We are esteemed of him as counterfeits.
Mm-hmm.
He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness.
Right.
He pronounces the end of the just to be blessed.
He said, listen, man, we know what you're going to do. But the end of all of this, we're going to be blessed. We're not going to be caught up. What else?
He maketh his boast that the Most High is his father.
You see that? Ain't that what they're saying? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 17.
Let us see if his words are true.
Let us see, black man, black woman, if your words is true. Do you really love the Most High? Are you really committed? Let's see if his words be true. Go ahead.
And let us prove what shall happen in the end of him.
Mm-hmm.
For if the just man be the son of the Most High, he will help him
mm-hmm.
and deliver him from the hands of his enemies.
Right.
Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know the meekness and prove his patience.
Y'all see that? So you want to know why they doing this to us? You want to know why these things have been happening over the years? This is why. This is why. You want to know why our people down there in cages down there on the borders of Mexico? This is why. Only Love the other day, some of y'all may know her. She stays in New York and she works with prison reform. And they had to pass a law. They had to actually, like, they had to lobby the leaders there to stop locking people up who couldn't afford bonds. Like, you getting a small misdemeanor, and the dudes is giving you like high what they call them, not bonds, but bailout things, high bails, right? So Only Love and her team them has been lobbying for years, and they finally got, I can't remember what she called it. There was a particular act that was passed that says that they got to start releasing these low misdemeanor people instead of putting these high bails. But guess what? With all this so-called virus stuff going on and people can't work, they're not allowing the advocates to come to work. Yet the leaders and the legislators are still coming. Meanwhile, while the advocates can't come there, Only Love said they still passed, they reversing laws and passing new ones. And one of the things that they was reversing was the act that was passed a year or so ago to keep people from in jail, keep people from being locked up. You had people spending time in Rikers for 2 or 3 years that they didn't even have a court there yet. But yet they're using this virus, so-called virus, where people can't come and lobby it. They're using this time as an opportunity to reverse all the things that was helping our people get out. Meanwhile, my aunt, Pastor Kenny today, sends me an article where this guy, this Gentile guy, who was a rapist, who was a known child rapist and pedophile, the lawyers are working on his behalf to get him out of jail because they said he's at high risk to receive the catch the virus. Judges is giving them appeals and hearing them out, and this dude is like one verdict away of getting out. He doesn't even have the virus, but because he has a compromised immune system and he's already been suffered so much, we don't want to be in there because these guys gotta, they gotta be in the same bunk with each other. I'm reading the article. This is what his lawyer is saying, and the judges are hearing this guy out. A known rapist. He was in jail this time for raping a 13-year-old boy. But you're gonna let him out. But you had a guy that took a book bag out of the store in jail for 2 years. No court case. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen? And these things just keep happening, and no one says anything. You keep on saying, well, and then you hear some of our people say something dumb like, well, if he didn't never steal nothing, it would never happen. But the guy that's raping boys is getting out because, God forbid, if he catch the virus. Go ahead, watch this. Look at the Bible, breaking it out.
Let us examine him.
Verse 20.
Let us condemn him with a shameful death.
This is how, ladies and gentlemen, how our people are getting killed on the streets, broad daylight, by cops, and they'll play it over and over on the news. No problem. You don't hear a disclaimer or advisory thing or anything. You just see a cop busting my man for nothing. Then but a dog or something be going through something. They're like, grab the kids. You might not want to see your kids see this. But it's no problem seeing us tortured. Seeing a woman out in the streets crying with her son, or her father, or her baby dad, or her husband, whatever. You said, let us do what?
Let us condemn him with a shameful death.
With a shameful death.
For by his own sayings he will be respected.
21.
Such things they did imagine and were deceived.
Read it again.
Such things they did imagine and were deceived.
This is what the ungodly did. They imagined these things and they deceived. Go ahead.
For their own wickedness has blinded them.
Their own wickedness has blinded them. Go ahead.
As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not.
They knew them not.
Neither hope they were for the wages of righteousness. nor discern the reward for blameless souls.
You see that? So you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, these people are not the same. And you can't allow these people to tell you nothing about your life and how you should be living. Tonight's lesson is entitled Overcoming Spiritual Wickedness. Now, let me get to Rock 12. This is the warning that we have to you right here. And then we're going to go to Mark 11. And we're gonna end it out. Let's get to Rock 12 and Sirach 12 and Psalm 7. So get Sirach 12 and Psalm 7 chapter. And then we're going to end out in Mark 8 tonight. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. Sirach 12. And let's look at verse 10 there.
Never trust thy enemy.
Read it again.
Never trust thy enemy.
Read it again.
Never trust thy enemy.
Never trust thine enemy. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
Listen, man, it's over. These guys ain't changing, man. They never changing. You can wipe that rust off. You can make it look pretty, but the contents of that vessel, his vessel is destroyed. Read it again for him, D. He says what?
Never trust thy enemy.
Never trust thine enemy. Never trust a person who enslaved you and put crack in your neighborhoods. That'll poison your water and poison your food. That allow you, take advantage of you, rape you. Never trust your enemy. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness.
So is his wickedness. Now go down to verse 13.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent,
Mm-hmm.
or such as come now and wild beasts?
You gonna pity the guy? You gonna pity a charmer that got some snakes in his hand? You gonna pity him if he get bit? You gonna pity somebody who out there messing around with a lion, a tiger? They get ravaged up, get raped, get destroyed. You gonna pity them when they put their life in harm? Watch this, verse 14.
So one that goeth to a sinner.
So one that goeth to a sinner
and is defiled with him is his sin. In his sins, who will pity?
Who will pity? If you listening to guys who don't keep the law, statute, commandments, and you allowing them to tell you anything about your life, if you're adding anything they say to what you do and what you don't do, read it again.
And he is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity?
Who will pity? Overcoming spiritual wickedness. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. You're not going to get any pity from the Most High. You better make these changes now before things go back to normal. Let's go to Psalm 7. Because the Most High is not going to have any pity on you. You better understand this. Let's go to Psalm 7. Psalm 7. And let's start there at verse. Let's start there at verse 1.
O Lord my God, indeed do I put my trust.
Mm-hmm.
Save me from all them that persecute me and deliver me.
Read that again, dude.
O Lord my God, indeed do I put my trust.
Mm-hmm.
Save me from all them that persecute
Save
me.
them from all them that persecute me. Go ahead.
And deliver me.
Uh-huh. Now go down to verse 8.
The Lord shall judge the people. Judge me, O Lord, according to my righteousness,
Mm-hmm.
and according to my integrity that is in me.
So though David said, listen, but you to judge me based on what I'm doing. I'm coming to you. I'm doing what I got to do. I'm getting this wickedness out of my life. I'm making sure that I ain't standing with nobody that don't stand with you. Judge me according to that, Father. Watch this. Verse 9.
Or let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end.
Read it again.
or let the wickedness of the wicked come to an end,
Mm-hmm.
but establish the just.
But establish the just.
For the righteous Most High triumphed our hearts and reigns.
You see that? Go ahead.
My defense is of the Most High,
Mhm.
which saveth the upright in heart.
I'm bringing this out to you. You may be asking, well, why are we going here now? I'm bringing this out to you to let you know that the Most High has already declared that for those who stand in righteousness, he will deliver them. And the wickedness is being destroyed. Vengeance is his. But if you're standing with the wicked, verse 11.
The Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Read it again.
The Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Every day. Till this day. Now, go back to Sirach 12. Before you read that again, before you go to Sirach 12, read that again. And we're going to get Sirach 12, verse 6.
The Most High judgeth the righteous.
The Most High judges the righteous.
And the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
He's angry with the wicked every day. Now, this rhetoric that got started by Christianity, it says that the Most High loves the sinner, but he hates the sin. Right? So this is why people have refused to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, because you think you can just live any kind of way, and the Most High love you still. Read that one more time, D. Psalm 7, verse 11, and then we're going to get Sirach 12 and 6. Watch this.
The Most High judges the righteous.
He judges the righteous.
And the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Every day. No G passes. No days off. No grace. Grace is when you come back. Not grace is when you live in it. Watch this. Sirach 12 and 6.
For the Most High hateth sinners.
Read it again.
For the Most High hateth sinners.
For the Most High hated sinners.
And will pay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment.
Now go to Psalms 5 and read verses 4 through 5.
For thou art not a God that has pleasure in the wickedness, neither shall evil dwell with thee.
Read it again.
For thou art not a God that has pleasure in wickedness.
For the Most High is not a Yah that dwell that take pleasure in wickedness. Go ahead.
Neither shall evil dwell with thee.
Neither shall evil dwell with thee. Go ahead.
The foolish shall not stand in thy sight.
The foolish shall not stand in the sight. And Psalms 14 and 1 says, the fool says, there is no God, there is no Yah. Yet, the people who are telling you that God don't exist, this country has elected as leaders. And the people are listening to them. Read it again. Psalms 5 and 5.
The foolish shall not stand in thy sight. Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
He did what?
Thou hatest all workers of iniquity.
Thou hatest all workers of iniquity. Go back to Sirach. Give me verse Sirach 15. I'm just going to let y'all, I'm just trying to get y'all to understand. You got to wake up. You got to wake up out of this religion stuff, man. Sirach 15, verse 11.
My son,
Sirach 15, 11.
Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. But thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated.
Oh, man, see, man, you know what I'm saying? I was out there, you know what I'm saying? I was going through some things, and the Most High started testing me, right? You know what I'm saying? I was just a test. So I ended up falling, man. Read it again.
Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. But thou oughtest not do the things that he hated.
You should not have done the things that the Most High hated. Go ahead, verse 12.
Say not thou, he has caused me to err.
Right.
For he has no need of the sinful man.
Read it again.
Say not thou, he has caused me to err. For he has no need of the sinful
man. For
man.
he has no need of a sinful man or woman. Verse 20. Yeah, go to Sirach 15:20.
He has commanded no man to do wickedness.
He has commanded no man to do wickedness.
Neither has given any man license to sin.
Neither have he given any man license to sin. Overcoming spiritual amnesia. Only thing going to wake you up is the truth. You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that we got some work to do. This downtime that the Most High is giving us right now, you better spend this time really seeking the Most High and waking up. Because if you go right back into the religions, you go right back into the lifestyle, you go right back into the recklessness, it's only going to get worse. This is the time. The Most High is granting Israel with a time to choose who you're going to serve. Back to Psalm 7 and read that one more time, D, verse 11 again.
The Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day.
Every day, verse 12.
If he turn,
go ahead.
Not, he will wait his sword. He has bent his bow, and made it ready.
The Most High is ready. The angels is locked and loaded to come and bring judgment. You got to wake up, Israel. You got to wake up. Verse 13.
He has also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity, and has conceived mischief and brought forth falsehood. He made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
So all of the people that are setting up these things to destroy people, you need to understand that the Most High has dealt with them. Read it again, verse 15.
He made a pit.
He made a pit for our people to fall in,
and digged
it,
and is fallen into the ditch which he made.
They're going to fall into the same ditch that they made. But don't go jump in that pit with them. Is what I'm saying. Watch this, verse 16.
His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealings shall come down upon his own pat. I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness.
I will praise the Most High according to his righteousness,
and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High.
His name is Ahia, a sure, Ahia. Now, lastly, let's go to Mark, the 8th chapter. And we're going to give you the 3 ways to fully wake up out of spiritual amnesia. Mark, the 8th chapter. And this is the process that we must take to wake up out of spiritual amnesia. Mark, the 8th chapter. And let's start there at verse 11.
And the Pharisees came forth and began to question with him, seeking of him a sign from heaven, tempting him.
Now, most Israelites have already experienced this in one way or another. Like we said, we always say, we not liken ourselves to Hamashiach, or the word of Jesus Christ. But those who serve him and follow him will deal with the same persecution and attacks. He tells us that in John the 15th chapter. Whatever happens to the master, the servants will have to deal with it as well. So we deal with this all the time. So I'm warning you right now. This is a warning for my Christian brothers and sisters, and for my people that are just waking up right now. There will be scoffers, right? And they're going to come with you with questions and asking you all kind of wild scenarios. Like, remember that scenario I told you they asked me the other day in the barbershop where they said that, well, you believe in the power of prayer, right? And I said, of course. Well, if someone is...
I'm not sure I understand.
If someone is poisoning your food and you don't know it, do you think your prayers is going to cover and keep you from dying? So that's a stupid and idiotic question, right? But people who don't want to do the things of the Most High and don't want to walk righteously, they come up with wild, extravagant scenarios like that to make someone question their faith. So I told them, yeah, I believe I will survive either way because I have a purpose on this earth. And nobody can take me out before my purpose is done. And then most of them just looked at me like, yeah, you think Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you don't think they were men of God? I said, yeah. So why they didn't know about what was happening there? Maybe that was their time. I got work to do. No weapon formed against me to prosper, homeboy. So you gotta understand, you can't allow the scoffers to come and try to shake your faith with these wild, off the wall questions and statements. That's why Paul told us to avoid foolish questions, man. Some people just want to debate. Some people just want to be comfortable in their sins, and they try to make fools out of you, try to make you look bad because you want to walk with the Most High. So that I'm telling you right now, the first thing you got to do is you got to get over people, and don't expect everybody to want to hear you. You got to accept that, right? Watch this, verse 12. Look how he handled it. Watch this.
And he sighed deeply in his spirit.
He said, "What? How much I did?"
And he sighed deeply in his
I
spirit.
just see him like, man, you got to be kidding me. You come to me talking about that, man. I'm the son of the Most High. This is the best you got. Look at what he said.
Why does this generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation.
You're not going to get it. Listen, if all that has happened, if Deuteronomy 28, ladies and gentlemen, is not a sign enough for our people in this country to understand who they are, then you're never going to get it. You don't want it. If the last 400 years of what happened in this country, if you ask the average so-called black man, so-called African American woman, if you ask the average person, what is the reason why we are treated this way in this country? The majority of the people, 9 out of 10 people, will say racism. And then every time we ask that question, we respond, well, you know the word racism didn't exist until 1901, right? That word was created by a man by the name of William Henry Pratt, researcher. He was a wicked, evil man. His name is William Henry Pratt. And when he created the word racism, he wasn't even talking about the so-called black man. He was talking about the so-called Indians and Native Americans. He was the one who penned the slogan, "Kill the Indian, save the man." And he called the so-called white man racist when he didn't want to invest in so-called saving the Indians from themselves. So he was one of the guys who helped sponsor kidnapping and a lot of our brothers, our Native American Indians from the tribe of Gad, kidnapping a lot of them and taking them into schools and to Catholic orphanages, forcing them to learn English, forcing them to receive the religion of Catholicism. That's why you can't even go on many of these reservations now and talk about Christianity or Jesus because of what happened to their ancestors in the past when it was forced upon them. That's why you can't even do that. So the word racism, ladies and gentlemen, didn't even have nothing to do with the black man, but the black man has took that political talking point and made their own badge of honor. So everything that happened to them, they said, oh, it's racist. It's racist. Now it's called the curses of Deuteronomy 28. They're going to be, the Most High have done enough for us to see. But this is what we're going to have to do. Watch this, verse 13.
And he left them and entered into the ship again, departing to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Now the disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship with them more than one loaf.
Mm-hmm.
And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod.
Now, so he said to them, that's precept because this is the answer. And this is, I had to give you all of the bad stuff in order for you to take the resolve serious enough. A lot of our minds right now, what's going on in this country, is focused on all the wrong things. Matter of fact, give me Matthew 4:4 right there. And matter of fact, start at verse 1 so I can make this point even clearer in Matthew 4. Hold your place there, Mark 4, y'all. I need y'all to see the severity of what Hamashiach was talking about here. Watch this.
Then was Yeshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
Now, so we must understand that, like we talked about in the middle of the lesson, is that every time people come into a dry place, into a valley season, Christianity taught us that it was an attack of the devil. So a lot of times, most people start going to rebuking the devil, and which the devil plays no part in what's going on. Absolutely no part in it at all. When Hamashiach went into the wilderness, the Holy Spirit led him there. And what was the reason why the Spirit led him there?
To the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
To be tempted. So a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, some of you are on the verge of graduating to a new level with the Most High. And right now, with this awakening that's going, but soon fishing season is going to end. And it's going to be hunting season. And for those who don't get tucked in during fishing season, it's going to be a wrap for you. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, grace is coming to an end. It's a fact. Now read verse 4. Go ahead, read verse 2 and 3.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards a hunger.
So right then, ladies and gentlemen, because of the circumstances that he was dealing with, he had a physical response to that spiritual thing that was going on. You see what I'm saying? It's a spiritual thing going on here, but because he was dealing with something spiritual, it began to affect him physically. But what you must understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that the physical aspect of it didn't happen until the spiritual part was taken care of. He had already did the fasting part. That's what you got to see. So it wasn't until the fast part was over, when the Most High is built him up to get ready for the temptation, that now his flesh is crying out. Right? So the devil is only coming, ladies and gentlemen, right now, is to get you focused on the wrong things. So if you're looking this way, you won't see what the Most High is doing over here. If you're looking outside and saying your enemy is out there, you won't focus on the enemy that's in here. So he's hungry. And look at the first temptation that happens because he's hungry. Verse 4.
3.
Yeah, go ahead.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command these stones be made bread.
So immediately, what was the first thing that the devil did? Question his spiritual authority. So what you're going to have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen, in this time, is they're going to start testing you. Are you a son of God? Are you a disciple of Christ? Are you an Israelite? And it's the devil asking you that question, because you're going to start saying, if I'm really that, then why is all this bad happening? Look how Hamashiach responded. Verse 4.
But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High.
That's two key things I need you to see there. Number one, he responded from a physical attack with the spiritual weapon, which is the word of the Most High. He didn't just make an empty statement right here. That's out of the law. He came right back with the word to respond to a physical attack by the devil. The wilderness had nothing to do with the devil. The attack in the wilderness was the devil. This lockdown and everything, ladies and gentlemen, has nothing to do with the devil. Your emotions that you're dealing with right now, and the fear that you're dealing with right now, and the uncertainty that you're feeling right now, that's the devil. Come on. So you see how the Hamashiach responded to that thing. He said, no. I ain't got to live off of bread alone. I'm living off of everyone that proceeded. Not proceeded, but proceeds. That means I know that the Most High is steady talking to me. And the only way he can steady talk to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have the Holy Spirit. This is why you must understand that just having Bible verses memorized ain't going to be nothing if you don't know how to apply them, one, and when to not say nothing but listen. You understand? Now, having that understanding, go back to Mark 6, Mark 8. So you saw what the problem was. They got on here and they didn't have bread. But look, they was worried about the fact, yo, man, we don't got no bread. We don't got nothing to eat. Right? They stuck on the boat. Right? You stuck in the crib. Right? But Yeshaya is talking about something completely different. Read verse 15 again. He says, what?
And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod.
Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, for those who rock with us, what did we just come out of? The Feast of Unleavened Bread. And you must understand now, as we keep that feast now, we understand that the leaven now represents sin that rises up through pride and destroys us. Hold your place there. I'm in the spirit now. This is all topic here. Let's go to Proverbs. Let's go to Sirach 23. Watch this. Well, that might be Sirach 30. One second. One second. One second. One second. The pride. Said to my how the pride destroys them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about? Said how the pride's right. The pride. Here it is, right here. Sirach 10. Read that Matthew, read that Mark 8 and 15 again, and get Sirach 10 and start there at verse 7. Read that one more time though.
And he charged them, saying, take heed, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the leaven of Herod.
Mm-hmm. Now go to Sirach 10 and read verse 7.
Pride is hateful before the Most High.
Pride is hateful before the Most High. Go ahead.
And man, and by both does one commit iniquity.
And by both does one do what?
Commit iniquity.
Commit iniquity. Watch this. Now go down to verse 12. Watch this.
The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High.
Read it again.
The beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High,
mm-hmm.
and his heart is turned away from his maker.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
For pride is the beginning of sin.
For what?
Pride is the beginning of sin.
Right.
And he that has it shall pour out abomination.
Uh-huh.
And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities.
Strange calamities.
And overthrew them utterly.
And what?
Overthrew them
and
utterly.
Overthrew them utterly. Y'all see that? So that's why Yeshua said, he said, listen. He said, listen. Beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of Herod. Now watch this. Verse 16.
And they reason among themselves, saying, it is because we have no bread.
And that's the only thing, because they focus on carnal things. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, many of you are focusing on what you don't got, physical things, and you're not understanding what you're missing spiritually right now. You're missing the big picture. You're talking about, man, I ain't got no water, I ain't got no toilet paper, I gotta get me some hand sanitizer, and you need to worry about is your soul clean. Give me Psalm 24 right quick. Give me Psalm 24. Everybody out here singing, talking about he got the whole world in his hands. Let's go to Psalm 24. Watch this. Watch this. I'm going to tell you something right here what hand sanitizer can't do for you. Watch this. Psalm 24, verse 1 through 5. Watch this.
The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein.
Mm-hmm.
He has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the flood.
Right?
Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord?
Who shall ascend into the hill of the Most High?
Or who shall stand by his holy place?
And who going to stand in his holy place? Who going to do that, D?
He that has clean hands.
He that has clean hands
and a pure heart.
And a pure heart.
Who has not lifted up his soul unto vanity. Nor sworn deceitfully.
Go ahead.
He shall receive the blessings from the Lord and his righteousness from the Most High of his salvation.
Give me verse 6 though.
This is the generation of them that seek him.
That do what?
That seek him. That seek thy face, O Jacob.
Oh who?
O Jacob.
Oh who?
O Jacob.
Oh Jacob. You talking about some hand sanitizer? You need to worry about your hand clean for real. And the only thing that can clean them hands is the blood of a Mashiach. You understand? We told the people back on Passover when they had to put the door blood over the doorposts. Men, this is why I asked the question: is your hand bit in that blood? Ladies, you out here talking about you want to get you a man. You better make sure that man hand bit in that blood. You understand? Because if his hand ain't in that blood, that death angel coming. Let's go back to Mark 8. So read verse 16 again.
And they reasoned among themselves, saying, it is because we have no bread.
No, man, it's because I ain't got my money right. Is that what it is? Jesus, is that what it is? And then look at what he answered. Look what happened. Verse 17.
And when Yeshua knew it, he said unto them, why reason ye because ye have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand? Have ye your hearts yet hardened?
Yeah, your heart hardened? Is it? Yeshua said, what? All that I've been teaching you, and you talking about, you worry about whether you got enough bread? Ladies and gentlemen, you got to understand it. Your Father has everything. And if you have the Father, you have everything. Because you're still asleep, you still see him as God, and you ain't seen him as Abba yet. Israel, you better wake up. You better remember who you are. Right now, many of you right now is in the hog trough. You in the hog trough right now in Luke 15. You in that hog trough. And some of you, if you don't wake up in time, you're going to partake. You better remember yourselves. It's like, man, y'all talking about bread? Watch this. Look when he gets the understanding. Verse 18.
Having eyes, see ye not.
You got eyes, but you still can't see. Go ahead.
And having ears, hear ye not. And do ye not remember?
You don't. You say what?
Do ye not remember?
Do you not remember? Because many of our brothers and sisters, y'all think this stuff is just some stories or folktale. This is real for us. But because you can't relate to it, you ain't connected to it, you just think it's a religion. Because you don't know nobody that doesn't had it. You don't know nobody who done actually experienced it. You don't know nobody who walking in this. And that's the problem. That's the problem. You're going to see that in a minute. Watch this. He said, do you not remember? Watch this. Verse 19.
When I break the 5 loaves among 5,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said unto him, 12.
He said, listen, it was one boy there. You had no bread. You had no fish, right? It was one little boy that had 5 loaves and 2 fish, and I fed 5,000 men, not counting the women and the children. With that, and when it was all over, you had 12 baskets of bread and fish left. You had more than you had when you went in. Don't you remember that? Israel, don't you remember how our fathers and how our grandparents in this country didn't have nothing, but we never went hungry, we never went homeless, we never went without clothes? How do you think they got it? The only one was working was daddy. Now mom and daddy working and everybody's struggling. Think, remember. Remember, Israel, who you are. We didn't have nothing. No bank accounts, no 401ks, no good job, but nobody had to do a fundraiser when nobody died. Everybody ate. Remember, Israel. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 20.
And when the 7 among 4,000, how many baskets full of fragments took ye up? And they said, 7.
He said, I did it again. I didn't just do it one time. I did it again. So he says, what? Verse 21.
And he said unto them, how is it that ye do not
How is it
understand?
that you don't understand, bro? You on here talking about some bread, bro. All that I done. And you over here talking about some bread. In fact, you ain't got no bread now. All that I done. And you talking about, I ain't got no job now. All that I done. And you talking about the bills due now. All that I done is real. All that I have done for you. And you talking about some virus. We done survived crack, abortion, water, syphilis, lynching, KKK. We done survived all of that. And we still here, Israel. They can't kill us. But you can kill yourself. They have tried everything. We're still here. How did that you don't understand? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 22. Watch this.
And he cometh to
Bethsaida.
Bethsaida,
Mm-hmm.
and they bring a blind man unto him and besought him to touch him.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the blind man by the hand.
Now, hold on, Slocky D, because I need to make sure they understand what happened here. If you go and read into the Gospels, Bethsaida was one of the towns that Yeshua cursed. And he said, woe unto them. Because Bethsaida had done seen many things, many miracles. They had witnessed many miracles, and they still didn't believe. And Yeshua told him, he said, listen, y'all ain't, it's gonna go better for Sodom and Gomorrah than you guys. You understand? So he rebuked him. So when you see this right here, read that verse 22 again.
And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring him a blind man unto him. Bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, see, this looked like as if this is a good thing going on. But really, this is another test. So I wanted to make sure you guys had the background there to understand what happened, why Yeshua does what I'm about to show you what he did. Because this was another attempt to get him to do something to prove himself. You got to understand, you got to go back and read the whole chapter here. All that happened. You got to go back into the other chapters. You'll see all of this. We ain't have time to break all that down. So this was another test. Them trying to get another sign. Well, they knew this man had been blind all this time, and they was like, "We're gonna bring this guy, and if he'll do this, we know we heard about that, and we heard about this. But if he can do this, then we'll believe then." So that's why you're gonna see what you see here. Watch this verse 25, 23, slide to 23.
And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught.
Now, these are the three things that we're going to leave with you tonight about what you have to do to fully overcome spiritual amnesia. The first thing you have to understand is that you got to get away from everybody who don't believe. That's why Yeshua took him out of town. I really wish I had time. I really wish we had, I know we've been on for a while, and I thank you guys for hanging with us. This lesson could really be 4 hours, and I promise I'm wrapping it up. I just want to make sure we give you guys the full understanding. I just don't want to just drop something on you. I want to make sure you understand it. But when you go into, I know many of you have heard the story about Jairus in Mark the 5th chapter. Well, Jairus, when he came to Yeshua, he wanted his daughter to be healed. But on the way there, that's when he healed the woman with the issue of blood. When he got down to, it was so many things that he had to do to get there. Jairus stayed faithful and patient the whole time. I really wish I could break that down, but I can't. But when he came there, when Yeshua got to the village outside the house, the whole city was crying and wailing outside the house, right? And so he told them, he said, "Listen, why y'all crying like this? She just sleep. Don't worry about it. She just sleep right now." And they went from crying to ridiculing and attacking Jesus. Mm-hmm. So Jesus said, "You know what? All y'all get out." And he even threw some of the disciples out. He only kept Peter, John, and James with him, because he knew he didn't read his disciples. This was a serious enough situation where he couldn't have nothing but faith in the room. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you love your family. I know many of you probably love your church, but it's time to go. If you want to wake up, if you want your spiritual amnesia, you want to get back to who you really is, it's time to go. Some of you gonna have to do some what they really call that spring cleaning stuff, talking about some letting from Facebook friends and all this stuff go. Something you really need to do that. And I know it sounds crazy right now. Some of you watch me on Facebook, but some of you got to do some inventory of your life. You got to get away from unbelievers and people who just talking stuff. He knew right there in that city, this city was full of unbelief, full of doubt. I can't do what needs to be done with this man right here. He automatically knew it. He drug him out of the city. But if I would say 1A in there, 1B, is some of the things that it's going to take for you to be healing, for you to get your healing, for you to get your awakening and your deliverance, you may deem below you or beneath you. Some of you might have came out of churches where worship really wasn't a big deal. And some of you really going to have to understand that worship is everything. And I'm talking to men specifically right now. Because women are crowd. Women are going in. Some of you dudes, you're too gangster for your own good. You're too tough for your own good. And won't nobody realer than David. Some of you Israelites is talking foolish talk to us, but there's some old Christian stuff. See, well, don't worry about it, because when the rest of us worship in the kingdom, you're going to be burning in hell with all the people who didn't want to praise the Most High. Don't worry about it. Stay gangster and say Kwam Yasharala. Okay. So some of you are going to have to humble yourselves. Because nobody who wants to get there, who wants to get spit on, right? So some things you're gonna have to humble yourself. Some of you guys, some of you pastors, who mindset was like, I got all the knowledge. I don't need to. You need to sit your butt down and let some young boy teach you this Bible. And I know that's gonna hurt. Because you know who brought me the truth? My little brother. My little brother was the first person to tell me that I was the children of Israel. I done travel all over the country preaching the gospel. And my little brother come to me telling me, yo, man, we the children of Israel. Now, what if I would have been like, man, this little dude? You know what? That was my initial response. When you open up the scripts. And that was 7 years ago. Some of you are going to have to humble yourselves. You got to go beyond what you thought you were going to do. You got to sit down. Some of you men are going to let some woman break this truth down to you. Because I got some right now on my team that I know ready. Can't precept you up. They ready. The women that's with better, they ready. Because we don't just teach dudes over here. You understand? My ladies is ready. I know some women right now who's ready. You understand? So all of the things that you, whatever it is, the pride that you're walking in right now, this is what Yeshua was talking about. That the leaven of the Sadducees, like the Pharisees and Herod, you can't be caught with it right now. Watch this. And he asked him what he sees. Watch this. Verse 24.
And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
So when he spit on his eyes, this man went from blind, right, to now he can see, but he can't see. You see that?
Mm.
He can see, but he can't see. Right? Give me John 8:31. Watch this. Hold your place there. So right here, this place right here, I'm talking about, you got to understand where he came from to be able to see men as trees was a significant difference than what he was a few seconds ago. So some of you right now, you know how people say, I may not be, what do you say, God not done with me yet, and I done came a long way. You don't know how far he brought me. Yeah, that's somebody that's true. But some of you, ladies and gentlemen, let me put it like this right here. If you got the same testimony from 5, 10, 15 years ago, you ain't been walking with the Most High. And I know that hurts. But that's a fact. If you talk about 15 years ago, I used to be an alcoholic, I used to be a fornicator, I used to be this, and it's 15 years, and that's all you can say that the Most High has done for you, then something went wrong somewhere. Okay. Along the way, you went off. If that's the only thing you can say. So some of you right now is that blind man that you was blind, and then now you seeing, but you still can't see. Some of you right now, you was in the world and you was doing everything, and then you came to the church, and the church it cleaned you up. You straight. You're gonna got comfortable. You think this is what it is now. I'm so much better than I was. But look at what he says, John 8:31-32. Watch this.
And when Yeshua then said Yeshua to those Jews which believed on him.
He said it to who?
Those Jews which believed on him.
So I'm talking to the ones who believe in him, because if you don't believe that he's the answer, then I'm not talking to you. This is only to those who understand that you got some work to do, and the only way you're going to do it is through him. I'm talking to the ones who realize that you're not black, that you're not an African American. If you're still believing that you're Gentile, I'm not talking to you. If you're not willing to accept that you have to keep law, statutes, commandments, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who believe right now. What did he say to the ones that believe?
If you continue in my word.
If you do what?
If you continue in my
If you
word,
continue in my word, not stop, but continue in my word, go ahead.
then are ye my disciples indeed.
So that means, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not continuing in it, you're not a disciple. You're just a member of a church. You understand? You got to continue in it. And once you continue in it and become a disciple, then what's going to happen?
And you shall know the truth.
You shall know the truth.
And the truth shall make
and
you
that
free.
truth will make you free. But you got to know the truth first. And the truth is that you're not black, that you're not an African American, that you're from the tribe of Judah, from the nation of Israel. That we got to keep his law, statutes, commandments. You got to come back to the Sabbaths and the holy days. And knowing that truth and living that truth and practicing that truth will make you free. Now, back to Mark 8. Watch this. Watch this. So when he laid eyes on hand on him, he asked him, what did he see? Read verse 24 again. He says, what?
And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes.
So right now, that second thing, ladies and gentlemen, is you got to go back and do it all over again. You got to recover that first love. When you look in the Exodus 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, Slaki, the Bible says that Moses saw the burning bush. He saw it, that it wasn't consumed. He saw it. Then it says that as he began to walk, he said in his mind, I'm going to look at that thing again. And when he looked at it again, that's when the Most High started talking. So some of you right now, you done took a glimpse at him. And because you can see a little better, things going a little smoother, little money release, you think that was it. But he has so much more for you. So you got to allow him to do what? Read it again. He said what?
After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes
and
made him look up.
And
he was restored. And saw every man clearly.
And he saw every man clearly. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Overcoming spiritual amnesia. See that? Watch this. Watch this. And lastly, verse 26.
And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town.
Don't go back in that town.
Nor tell it to any in the town.
Don't talk to them. Don't deal with those folks again. Go forward. That's the last thing you got to do. Is go forward. Give them Philippians 3, 14 to 15. You got to go forward. This is it. Hey, get off of that thing. So I'm going to try to put that thing, okay? Get off the thing so I can the phone. Philippians 3. Philippians 3. And that's it. You got to go forward. You got to go forward, ladies and gentlemen. No more looking back. No more saying, and if you can't be like Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife. What happened when she looked back? Remember Lot's wife. Philippians 3, 13 through 14.
Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, you ain't figured out everything. You don't know all the answers. You don't have all the answers, and the answer's not going to be revealed to you. That's why it's called faith. Okay? But this is the one thing that you need to know. Go ahead.
Forgetting those things which are behind.
You got to forget those things which are behind.
And reaching forth into those things which are before.
You got to reach forward to those things which are before you. Go ahead.
I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of the Most High in Yeshua HaMashiach.
That's what you got to do. And this is how you will overcome spiritual Amnesia. Gone?
Come.
So I know that was a little long and we got started late. But tonight, we like to give all praise. We like to give all honor. We like to give all glory to a higher Bahashem Yeshaya and the precious Ruach for everything that took place tonight. And I pray and hope, ladies and gentlemen, that this word was received. I pray and hope that you fully understand that the Most High loves you. I really hope, I hope you understand that all is well. And if you desire to overcome spiritual amnesia, you have all the tools available to you through the Holy Spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that we love each and every one of you. I want you to know that the Most High loves you more. And as we always say, you have the power to overcome if you just trust the Most High. So, as we always say, continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding to the work of the Most High higher. I want you to know that each and every one of you know that we love you. Pray and hope you enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. To all my brothers and sisters out there, Kwam Yasharala, Shalom. 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 Shalom.
The highest calling us back. He said, I am that I am. And who can argue with that? He said, this my name forever. That's scripture, so that's a fact. Repent for your false doctrines. The day quit. Got my people waiting on spaceships with they face fixed. My people stiff necks, so I know they gon' hate this. Look, let's take it back to basics. I'll explain this. Them chariots are for the angels. This is not to entertain you, but to save you. Ever seen the scriptures from this angle? Come out of her, my people. That's physical and not spiritual. Cause if you say it's spiritual, you gotta say the plagues are too, and we know that's not true, cause what we seeing today is proof. Look, we will have to physically leave. Corona will be used to implement the mark of the beast, and those who stick around will perish and will not get to see us defeat the other nations before Christ reigns as king. Repentance and baptism are prerequisites for this exodus. Imagine you at judgment thinking, ain't no one tell me this. Then the Father play you back this track like, why you ain't repent? And niggas near, you better beware, yeah. Made in the most. And niggas near, you better beware, yeah. Let me your ear, cause I got a critical message to share. Get on your knees, repent and prepare. Turn to the Father, men and repair, cause it'll be chaos and shedding of tears. A whole lot of tension and death in the air, but only the Father in heaven I fear. Idols of Egypt can never compare. Setting up traps, they building their snares. Blowing their darts and throwing their spears. The armor of God that never compares. Funny I shine whenever they glare. They're taking their shots, but really they're scoreless. I got my rock and I got my fortress. Heavenly hosts and fiery horses. Look, I ain't really with the bogus. I got a mold of really a focus. See the mission and the goals to dwell in this house and none of me mortgage. Separation of the sin, he taught with the prophets, taught it with Moses. Even the word in the flesh is even the child of Mary and Joseph. See, the word is really hopeless, a lot of commotion, talk about COVID. Take a look into the book, the word of the Lord is steady unfolding. Only way that you'll be safe is keeping the law the Father had spoken. Better be the one to fear and giving the praise and show the devotion. Yeah, they can lock all the shops up. Quarantine ain't never stop none. The work of the Father continues. I only rest when the job done. See your belly make the block jump. I'm just trying to make the flock come. Gotta load up the word like a shotgun. Any demon can come get a hot one. Okay. Niggas near, you better beware, yeah. Let me your ear, cause I got a critical message to share. Get on your knees, repent and prepare. Turn to the Father, men and repair.